don't we start at the beginning?
I became involved with Ugly Americans last year when they were looking for someone to assist with some of the episodes.
They asked us to come in and basically help, give notes. Very similar to actually just what we're doing on season 2.
We worked on 3 episodes of the last season.
The main thing that I found myself doing was, just a lot of animation fixes, tweaking, changing timings, just doing what I know how to do just to make the best animation that I possibly can.
As a result of that, they asked us to come back and work on some episodes this season.
What seems to be the problem?
I had to find, obviously, a production studio that could actually back up and do that level of work. This is a full 22-minute show and required a lot of resources to pull together. So I immediately thought of Turner just because of having such a great relationship with them in the past, and knew they would be able to pull it off.
Who dareth bring a dragon into my realm of employment?
We got a list of basic deliverables that had to happen at certain times, but we had to figure out in our own way, how to make all that happen.
The requirements of the show, we just needed so many new people for so many areas.
Such a big job and such a sprawling job. I mean, at one point, we had 5 episodes, in production.
You poor thing.
You really touch almost every part of the process except for technically writing the story. But even that, when we do our animatics, we're adding in jokes that they didn't even write in the script. We're plussing their script with our add-in gags of visual highlights and notes in the background. So in an odd way, we sort of touch every part.
I can explain that.
You're an unlicensed rabid zombie. Officers!
Amazing boarding skills, they just bring a lot of humor to it and a lot of just excellent, excellent work.
Never actually seen Randall attack someone before.
It's always a question of looking at existing animation style is like and trying to figure out, okay, this is what it looks like, but how are you actually going to pull that off?
We looked at a lot of the EC comics back in the day, and then a lot of Charles Burns books, some of the early Dick Tracy stuff, and then a lot of the season 1 episodes also that really helped out. And Sam and I, we worked together a lot.
Basically, I design any new characters on the show, and costume changes for any existing characters. All the new characters were created from scratch, and those were a lot of fun to do. So there was a lot of room for interpretation and basically just doing my take on whatever was in the script. Well, when I was a kid, probably my dream job would have been to draw zombies, mutants, and weirdos all day, and that's basically what I'm doing now. So the 12-year-old version of me, this was his dream job. I don't think I've changed that much.
We all have similar aesthetics, so it's nice because we're really all trying to push the show in the same direction and get the same results out of it. We have enough. I'm trying to avoid having to add another background to the list, that's all.
There's a comfort zone on his side, which I think is makes me proud, to be able to work with him. So, high-profile projects that he wants to bring to Turner Studios because he just really loves working with us.
But that's why I thought you'd like it. Gah!
We just have kind of a shorthand now. So it's nice because very often we'll watch something together and we'll know there's a problem and we'll both really be thinking the same thing.
We had a lot of trust in us and put faith in us, and it wasn't like he had to always check in all the time.
We have our director out of state, so we're the people on staff that keep everyone focused.
I have an announcement to make.
I work from a studio in Connecticut, and I think that the past 8 years have really made it possible to do this kind of production, and Ugly Americans is actually a great example of that, only because the production just spread out everywhere. The writers are in Los Angeles, the producers are in New York, and obviously the animation facilities here in Atlanta. I'm in Connecticut. People are all over the place. Many of our freelancers are in New England and in Canada, everywhere. And I just think the technology has made that really possible.
Want to go towel snap some IT nerds, sir?
Yes, I do.
It took a little while at first. There was sort of this learning curve where we were on the phone constantly, instant messaging constantly.
We got used to working over AIM and not having him here. He'd come in maybe once a month.
And then you kind of get this sort of working relationship with someone where you know how they're going to react, what they're used to.
We are constantly talking throughout the day, through the computer, through Instant Messenger. We could ship files back and forth, and he'll just pop on the phone if we need to get more to script, and we'll lock down exactly what direction we need to focus in.
One of the areas we were really running over our budget on was the rough animatics, and so in an effort to get those costs under control.
One of the big challenges was managing the costs. One thing that we learned to do was flag things early.
My main focus was setting up the budget. I wanted to make sure that we had a running budget at all times so we knew exactly where we were.
Look, I've got some news that might fix this situation.
If you look at character designs and trace it over to the over-under column, I love this. And do the same thing, character designs, look at that, look, under
budget.
It was very good to keep up with it on a week-to-week basis and to be able to spot a problem area and then try to do something about it.
Money is often the biggest cause of stress in our lives. Have you thought about that?
First show is always kind of the painful one, you know, because that's the one where you're figuring everything out, and then things usually smooth out.
I want you to figure this out on your own.
We were able to pinpoint those areas where we were losing money, where we could improve the process, the pipeline, or you know, whatever needed to be done there.
Don't you read the budget reports?
Ow!
Building a budget so that we had each line item built out per episode and just keeping that updated.
How'd your little talk go?
Interesting thing about that.
It's definitely important to be on the same page, you know, with everybody involved.
It's not a hard thing for me to deal with, and actually most of the series that I have worked on have been where either directors have been out of state.
It's become pretty commonplace now that we have no issues with working with an off-site director.
I've worked on jobs where the director was right next to me and communication wasn't as good as, you know, Rich, who was 1,000 miles away, you know, because he was always at my fingertips.
You know, it's almost like he's sort of looking over your shoulder even though he's not here.
It's pretty seamless at this point. You know, we have the ability to all watch movies together, make notes on movies at the same time.
We're cutting back and forth between 5, 5, and 5.
Okay. The best thing for me, as you know, doing the boards for something that Rich is directing, is to really see what he's thinking. And you know, the best way to do that is for him to just sit there and doodle it, and you know, able to just doodle it really quick, and I'm able to, you know, see the staging and see the characters and all that, and get a sense of the acting. And then I can just take that and run with it.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Probably the most important tool that we have is this program, and that allows us to view QuickTime movies at the same time as someone else is viewing the movie, you know, anywhere, as long as there's an internet connection. So we're able to scroll back and forth. Everyone can be looking at their computer and be seeing the same thing at the same time.
Hey there, kitten. Did you see the horrific visions I sent you?
You can draw on the frame as well. So all animation notes can actually be sketched in, and you get a visual record of, you know, what you want changes to be. So that becomes our initial record for just about every stage of the process. We'll all sit down and wherever we happen to be, watch the movie through. Everyone will make notes.
But these guys would use it, obviously, to review a scene, you know, because, like you said, we had a team spread out all over the place.
And really, every time a shot is completed, we all can look at it simultaneously and make comments on it.
Being able to collaborate visually was just, you know, meant everything.
It's visually jarring.
That better not be my toothbrush.
It's a lot of phone time and a little telekinesis.
Ah! I think I have a concussion.
Great job, guys.
Cell animation is my first love, and it's the reason I'm in the business. You know, we're working on a pure cell animation, working on a TV series. I mean, all those things were really exciting.
I mean, it's a lot of pressure. My mom will be there. I think it might be televised.
Televised?
It's always good when you're working on a project that you enjoy. You find it funny, you're a fan of it, and just to be able to work on something like that is just always just, you know, makes it that much better.
Oh!
You got something else to say to me, funny man?
I will destroy.
It's a great looking show. I mean, it's animated really well. I was really drawn to it for that.
This is freaking awesome.
All the hard work and really seeing the animators so excited and proud to deliver and really taking ownership and being part of that team.
Every show's a little different and has unique challenges, and it's always nice to see people just step up and figure out what those unique challenges are and figure out how to solve them. And certainly the team leads on this show were able to do that.
Daddy, you're so funny.
Well, thank you, sweetheart. The jokes are there for the people who want to hear them.
Even when things are really crazy and rough and that we don't have enough time and we're out of money, it's still fun when you're actually doing the project and you're sitting there looking at stuff that's written to be funny, and it always makes it fun to work on something like that.
They did a great job. It's not just always automatically knowing what to do. A lot of it is just the thinking involved in, all right, how are you going to make it look exactly right? And they certainly have lots of ability at that.
You are true champions.